step away, forward in motion, know where I've been, know where I'm going. Voices rise up, a beautiful sound. There's more than enough music to go around. Everyone step in line with me. Put your hands up, get on your feet. Oh, 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 oh. This is my circle. This is my tribe. Leaning together, we know we're all on the same side. We are stars in the same sky. Circle of stars in the same big sky. We burning brighter than before. We shining on forevermore. Circle of stars in the same big sky.
Oh my goodness. Hello, 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 hello. This is our special event here. We are actually doing a live broadcast of our podcast. So then I get to say to Faith and Chad, unmute. Faith, unmute yourself. Welcome to Voices of Unity. It's our live event. We haven't done this since the pandemic, right, guys? This is a live event on Facebook and in YouTube. Oh my goodness. How you feeling? We had to get dressed up for this.
We did.
We got dressed up.
I did my hair.
How y'all doing? Voices of Unity live. What's going on?
Well, it's always great to see your faces. Every time we get a chance to talk, it's like, oh, this is my group therapy that I don't have to pay for.
Well, we've been like threatening to do a live Facebook and YouTube recording of our podcast, and here it is. Look what we manifested, Faith Rivera.
Yes, here we are, and we have to remind everyone that we are all over the place. Well, meaning all over the place, not physically.
We are.
Hopefully, we are united in one in our intention to, I don't know, give this.
Okay, so roll call. Where are we? I'm in Fort Lauderdale.
Mm-hmm. I'm in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yes, and today I'm in Conway, Arkansas.
All right.
Or as I like to call it, Arkansas.
Oh no.
I will never visit Arkansas because people are going to like say, we don't pronounce it Arkansas.
No, you messed me up. I'm always hesitant to say where he's from now.
He's from Arkansas.
And things. So
to all our viewers, welcome. We're so grateful that you decided to take some time with us to be with our live podcast recording. And we're more than excited because we've been doing this for over a year now, this iteration. And then Voices of Unity was on Unity Radio for another year. So we've been doing this for over 2 years together. Mm-hmm. And this is us going live again in a different way. And we're just very excited. Very excited. So what's new? And first of all, we want to say we're sending some love out to our brothers and sisters in Hawaii. Faith, What's going on, man? What's going on with that right now? How are we doing?
Well, as far as the local people, the response has been huge. I think it's a daily thing that we'll go about our lives. Us on the other islands, we'll go about our lives, but it'll just hit us that there is a whole community there right now trying to understand what's going on and how to pick up the pieces and where are their loved ones? I mean, it's so heavy, it's so heavy right now, but the response of the love and what they say, kokua, the help is amazing. All the different islands coming together to really support. And I'm sure you've seen the news. I mean, there's people taking their own boats. I just heard from Unity of Kona. They're working with some people now that they have their own planes. They were getting some toys, for the kids. And so, I don't know. It's huge, and to hold the light and the love, and I'll be honest, it's easy. On this show we talk about this spiritual path as humans, right? Human and divine, and so of course those questions come in, right? When they think, oh, all those latchkey kids that were home during this time, and all the 1,000 and more that are still missing. So there is love, there is sadness, there is grief, there is even anger.
Sure.
building of, with how it's been taken care of. And I can't even pretend to know what it's like to be there. So my uncle is over there in Lahaina, so is my cousin, and we're very grateful they have their home. But
Yes.
my uncle's in-laws, that they lost five homes, generations displaced. So and they're just one story. So yes, light and love and financial support. I don't know if we want to talk about that now, but I do have some, things to share as far as how people can help. So, but I know this is our catch up, but let's just say,
Yeah.
all our hearts and our energy, it's all about supporting Maui right now.
But Chad, when you say this is part of the catch up, this is a part of really having a conversation about what is happening in Maui, what is happening in Hawaii, but we're all affected by it. Chad, how did you hear the news, Chad, about Hawaii? Like the news, like we all did?
I think so, actually. Beth Grossman, who's your
Our publicist. Yeah,
sent us
our
a
publicist.
message early in the early morning hours, checking in on Faith, and I had no idea. And then for the rest of the day, just getting those images that are just heartbreaking and kind of unfathomable, to be honest with you. It's really hard to wrap one's mind around. And it is one of those things when you are so far away geographically that unless we actually take the time to tune in with our spiritual hearts, it's easy to let things just kind of go by and keep your head down. But I do think it's important to keep that energy flowing, the love flowing down there as people are going through some of the hardest times they'll ever encounter.
And Faith, I'm sure there is this feeling whenever there's a huge shift in energy, like Mother Nature or fire or whatever, or hurricane, there's always this idea, this thing I always say, like, why? It's like the movement of nature, and you're going the loss of life, and we always talk about this on the show, that everything's in the mind of God, but some of this is hard to kind of swallow. I don't know, you being so close, if you're experiencing that right now.
I go back and forth because, on the one hand, I mean, you can't spiritualize it. Not when someone's there with the ashes. Not when you hear a number like 1,000, and yet I will, to myself, I remind myself, I take that big, big, big step back, right? And say on that cosmic or metaphysical level, I know those souls that are gone are already in their next space, and they are with love and they feel the love. But the hardest part is the humans, us humans here. And I think that's why our hearts are just, what do we do this to support the people now? So I do want to say it is bringing out, my unicorn eyes is bringing out the best, because they're searching, how can I love? How can I show my love there on the ground? People bringing toys, canned goods, donating. And I think that's all we can do, especially for the folks going through the anger and the sadness and the grief and the what the hell, and like, how do I live my life? All what we can provide, in consciousness, is that energy of whatever stability we can give, in the knowing and holding the highest, that Lahaina will come back stronger. And but this is huge, and it's Hawaii, and I don't know if we're going to go to the, we want to talk about all this, there's like that it's Lemuria, and all the reasons of but it feels like caca. I don't think we can swear on Facebook, or can you?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've heard people swear on, but it feels like caca. We'll keep it at caca.
Hey guys,
for sure.
Let me just say, so I'm going to give a shout out. Marilyn's watching. She's here on Oahu.
Marilyn!
And Jackie Fernandez, the reason that we're here.
Hey, Jackie!
My cousin Bradford is watching you.
And my cousin Del Rita in Jersey is on with us right now. And thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in on this live broadcast. Jackie, we got to get you in as a guest very soon. Yes. Very, very soon. Oh, my goodness.
So, hey, since we started on Maui, I mean, I think let me just give a few ways that I've found that you can help. Yeah,
Yes.
the one that's been most endorsed and encouraged by friends in the nonprofit industry is the Maui Strong Fund that's being run from the Hawaii Community Foundation, and I'll try to put it in the comments below and also on our show
Please,
notes.
that would be great.
Yeah, and they're working, with all of the state and county leaders, the nonprofit community organizations, and also actual community members, and they have a 4-stage plan, of this disaster response, everything from immediate need all the way to recovery and then rebuilding. And so these grants go to Aloha Diaper Bank, to the Community Clinic of Maui, to the people trying to provide clean water, to the Animal Kuleana Alliance, right, for the animal. So they cover the whole gamut. So that's the Maui Strong Fund from the Hawaii Community Foundation. Also, I would say maybe tune into Unity on Maui, to their services. They're doing okay. They're not in the area, but they are on the ground. So I would think they may have some more resources. And last but not least, my cousin is fundraising for his cousins and his aunties. It's a more personal thing. If you feel like doing that, private message me and I can send you his Venmo. So, and aside from that, holding the highest intention whenever you see the news, and I'm not saying don't go into grief, but I'm saying feel into that love, feel into these families. So,
and I love what you said. It's holding the high intention. Holding the space of knowing that all needs are met, no matter what is happening right now. All needs are always met in the mind of God, in the mind of the universe. And what we're going to do is, if you're watching this now, you're watching as a video later on down the week or whatever, I hope you do watch it. We will be uploading this onto our podcast format, which is mindbodyspirit.fm. And we will put all that in the program notes of how you can help our brothers and sisters in Hawaii. So, and I used to live in Hawaii, Faith. I was in Oahu. I was stationed at Hickam Air Force Base. So when I heard, I'm going, ooh, I mean, it's family for me.
Yes.
I mean, it's family for all of us. But
yes.
when you live in Hawaii for a certain amount of time, it's like, you're always, always family.
No, you
always
are
family.
And I was just thinking, for those that are listening and tuning in, you can also in the chat, I mean, just share your love and your prayers for the community, for Maui and all of Hawaii. I think we're all feeling this. We're all feeling it. Yeah.
Well, one of the things I love about Voices of Unity and what we do, and we always tease about this, it's like our therapy time. We get to come together and have a free therapy session with the three of us when we do this and record this. So, Chad, how you living after your show being on the road? Because you are on the road with Shakespeare on the Lake and Shake on the Lake, and is it called Shake on the Lake, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
You were directing. Were you acting as well? Did you get a couple
no,
lines in their
Lord.
scenes?
I was not doing that.
Why you say that? Why? Because you're a talented actor.
I find that it really takes, and I think you all will appreciate this because you do so many things, that when you are in one realm of creativity, it's kind of hard to travel into different areas. So if you're creating in one sense, it's hard to shift the mind. And acting is hard, y'all. It's hard. It's real hard.
I will agree.
So, I can kind of sit back and ride on the genius coattails of the other artists when I'm directing a little bit. But I was really pleased with how it all came together. Of course, taking that break for the pandemic was hard for organizations, no matter who you were. It was very difficult. And I feel like here in 2023, we are just now starting to find our way back to where we were 4 or 5 years ago. But at least that kind of line on the graph is going in an upward motion now. So lots of shows, got to talk and meet with and serve a lot of people. So it ended up going really well.
And babies we're doing good on tour.
She has 2 babies on tour. Oh my God.
Lord, listen, if you ever hear me say, I'm going to just take a little road trip, just
with 2 babies,
give me that virtual slap in the face, because Charlie was not into it. He was not into it. He was like,
Charlie's the young one. Charlie's the young one.
Yes. And he was like, I'm 3.5, 4 months old, and we're going on a road trip that's how many hours? So that was a little bit more challenging than I thought it was going to be.
Lesson learned.
Yes. But he's, if people do want to send up a little bit of a prayer for dear Charlie, he is having a lot of trouble gaining weight, and we were at the doctor, and we're going to have to go in and see some specialists, and he's just not really interested in formula or milk or anything like that. But he's about 6 months, and so we just started this week, with little purees and the baby food, and he was just ravenous. So I think that we joked that he's an old soul, and he's like, "What is this milk? Just give me." I'm ready for steak and taters,
Dude,
Mama.
he's ready for a steak. He's ready for a steak and a pork chop. Give him some potatoes, yo. Just like take a whole steak and potatoes and put it in the blender and let him suck that down.
He's a true Southern baby because he ate 2 whole pouches of sweet potato puree last night. So I was very proud. Yes.
It's not having trouble gaining weight. The brother just needs some food. That's all. He just needs some food, my brother.
That's what we, if you were to talk to me at this time yesterday, I was a little concerned. But then when we got home, he just ate the rest of the day, just eating. So I think we're going to be good. But it was I'd be lying if I said that me and Sharon didn't have one of those mom and dad look at each other, what are we going to do kind of moments.
Yeah.
So. But Eliza is just a spitfire and is doing great and bouncing off the walls and having just the best time, and has discovered the joy of slides. I don't know if people can remember when you're little and big slides, small slides, twisty slides. She's now at the age where she's just like, give me slides, like all day long. That's all she wants for slides. So it's a joy.
Let me tell you something about slides. I'm telling you about your slides. Let me tell you about your slides. No, I do not like slides. Because every time I've ever gone down a slide, I ended up with a wedgie. I do not like slides. I have horrible memories.
Sliding.
I have horrible memories of going down a slide and getting an awful wedgie. Listen, I'm just telling you. I'm telling the truth. The truth shall set me free. I don't like slides. I'm sorry.
Look,
I don't see the purpose of it.
We are of a generation too when they were still making playground equipment out of metal. And
that's right.
I didn't experience necessarily what you experienced, but I remember just sliding down a hot metal, and every time your leg touches that, you're just dying.
It's summertime. It's like not fun. I had terrible. Now, have either one of you have had that big fall off the monkey bars where you just landed and it's like the whole entire face? And I've had that. See, not good memories on the playground for me. I'm just saying. People, not good memories.
Oh my gosh. And those stick with you. You'll never forget getting the breath knocked out of you.
You just never remember. You never forget it.
I've never had that.
Faith Rivera, music. Did you do any music this summer? I know the kids are back in school now, right?
Yes.
Did you create some new music?
Oh my God, yes. We finished up my old school R&B, old school, new school R&B project called Lux. We finished up Ooh of You, and we're just starting 2 more songs there. And also I've been rewriting a song for women lawyers for this, like a custom rewrite of a song for these women lawyers. So that's been pretty fun. Also, I have a ministerial student who just loves New Thought music. So she's taking singing from me and also songwriting, and we're writing chants now, and she is ecstatic. Like, I love seeing her because it's like, I can't do anything wrong. She just comes and we do music and she just leaves like she's just floating, because so her joy is infectious. So yes, there's been a lot of music. And also I don't think I've officially announced this on the show, but a new role I've taken on because my daughter has, stepped into this modeling and acting world, the very beginning of it.
You said that on the last show. You did say that.
Yeah. Well, no, but that I'm the creative director of the agency now, or
Like you got time to be a creative director, run your new website, all your music, go and preach and speak on a Sunday all over the world. Chad, do you hear her now? She's the creative director of my daughter's thing. I love it though. I love you. I love you.
Yeah, but I get to create music for fashion show, and my Izzy got chosen by 2 designers to walk in September.
That's amazing.
So
very cool.
So, I mean, I don't know if there's the time to share about it. I'll share at the end.
Yeah,
please.
The Aloha Shirt Festival, where they show and honor the vintage wearable arts, made here in Hawaii, and they have contemporary designers, and so Izzy's going to be showcasing a surfboard designer, like she's holding a surfboard, and she'll also be presenting for Jam's World, which has been here for 60 years, and I'll be doing some music. So, later at the end, I'll tell everyone how, you can go to their website and get some tickets and come see us.
I love it. I love.
What about you? What would you say?
Well, I just want to say, I feel like it was just a couple of months ago. Faith was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything.
No, remember that show?
Okay, this.
I'm doing this, and this.
It feels like harvest time, to be honest. And but let me say this though. I feel like, do you guys have those points when you're really good on meditation and your practices? Then someday it's like it all kicks in. And I know I need to maintain my practice, because what happens is I get busy. I'm like, oh, I don't have time. Like I'll be this morning. This is my meditation right here. I did but I feel like it's directly related to me getting quiet and opening up to receive. So
I was talking about that on the live podcast this morning for an Insight Timer. I do the Friday Insight Timer live event. And I was saying, I was reading out of Michael Beckwith's book, 40-Day Mind Fast Soul Feast. And he says in it, don't miss your meditation. Don't miss your prayer life, because we get to cultivate the true nature of who we are. We are divine. We are love. We are intelligent. And that is what we need to cultivate. And I said, there are days that I'm so good at meditation. I'm dropped in there and I'm like, I'm dropping, I'm floating, I'm walking on water, creating miracles. It's beautiful. There's some days I feel like a funky piece of poo-poo and I just don't want to meditate. But
a piece of poo-poo? Oh, that's
a funky piece of poo-poo.
You're still stylish. You're stylish. I love it. Okay, go on.
I said feel like. I didn't say I was. I said feel like a funky piece of poo-poo.
Sorry.
And in the feeling of the funky piece of poo-poo, I don't know where that came through. It just came out. You know how it happens on this show. Inspired. It just came out. You sit, you meditate no matter what, because you have fallen in love with the discipline of connecting with God.
Yes. No, remember on our last shows, I kept saying my meditation was getting stale, but I would but I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up stale or funky or whatever.
As a funky piece of poo-poo?
Yeah, whatever. And I want to give a shout out. Reverend Robert Brzezinski's also checking in. New Thought Media Network. Yes.
Yes. So awesome.
Okay, Rev Skip, you got to give us your catch up. Come on.
So, oh man, so much has happened in the last month and a half. So I am still the senior minister here at Center for Spiritual Living for Lauderdale, which I'm still very much a part of. But on September 30th is my last day as senior minister. But I'm still moving, and for that, it's releasing something and embracing something that I truly am called to do. So we've talked about my gifts are, giving great retreats and teaching classes and doing what we're doing right here, being, a host for a podcast. This is the things that I've been called to do. And doing, being the senior minister and doing all the things and working with, it's not my full calling. And I feel as if there is something else that's calling forth in me to create. So I'm stepping down. I'm staying in Florida. And that was a big decision of prayer and meditation, staying in Florida, because I believe that this is the epicenter of where transformation needs to happen, more so than in the South is needing to hear about inclusivity. They need to hear about love is love is love, y'all. They need to hear that. And that has always been my mission. And it's easy for me to go back to California where you feel very, oh yeah, okay, I'm woo-woo again. This is my tribe.
Yeah.
But what can I do within a state that truly wants to marginalize LGBTQA plus people? What can I do to make a difference where it's needed? It's needed all over the world, trust me. But my work is to continue to do it here in Florida and to do it, and I'll be doing some retreats on my own. I'll be taking people around the world. I'll be still doing retreats, hopefully with Center for Spiritual Living, if they allow me to, and that's okay. And that's all in God's hands. So me releasing that allows me to do what I really want to do. And I still have, another month and a week. Not that I'm counting, but I'm also, and I'm opening up the door for something new and something beautiful and something divine. And it was, we've had shows that we've talked about this. Rev Skip, we went from me living in California, y'all, we had shows of me moving to Florida. No, Chad, y'all been with me, Faith. I moved from California to Florida. We've had shows about, I don't know if I can do this any longer, and what do I do? Y'all been my therapist. And it's been wonderful to be able to really hear the presence of God within me saying, yes, this is time for me to move on to do something else. And, everything comes into our life for a reason, a season, and a time and a reason, a season. And the time, we don't know. The season, we don't know what the season is. But I always know that everything is designed for us to spiritually awaken, to grow. So we can say people come in our life to help us to grow spiritually. People, jobs, work, events, they come to our life so that we may connect with a deeper understanding of who we are and our purpose. And that's what I truly believe. So people say, well, are you like regretting coming to Florida? I'm going, no. This has been one of the greatest experiences of my life. I have grown so much. My life is filled with infinite possibilities. Here's the thing that y'all, and here we go. I'm getting on my soapbox. I'm getting on my soapbox right now. That when we say infinite possibilities and new thought, see, some of us say infinite possibilities, but we get in the mind that we are in this finite experiences of our past. So we're always saying, this is how it's always going to be. Yes. Oh yeah, let me stay in this job because this job is bringing my paycheck, and Lord have mercy. Let me just, Spirit saying, I got you. If you just trust and you listen and you have faith, Spirit saying, infinite possibilities. Wait till we begin to allow ourselves to create. We're co-creators in spirit, co-creators. We are not a victim. We're co-creating our experience. So therefore, let's co-create something great. Let's co-create something amazing. Let's co-create something dynamic, something that's going to change the planet. So, ta-da. 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 Okay. Da-da. I'm off my soapbox now. Da-da. I'm off my soapbox.
You go first.
I love all of that. I feel like so I've got some things I'm not ready to announce or anything like that. But
come on.
give me a couple of weeks.
Tell the secret, brother.
There's when I feel like I'm facing some decisions and things, and I was talking to a friend of mine who is a very successful voiceover artist, and I was saying to her that I was like, well, what if I choose this? I don't know if this will be a good, or I could choose this, or I could choose that. Is that going to be the right decision? And and I might break some ties here, but I want to build that bridge over there, and I don't know if I'm going to make the right spiritual decision or something like that. And she said, basically, do you think the divine is that fragile?
Yeah.
That a decision that you could make would break that
Yes.
tie that you have when you are doing the things, you're trying to listen, you're sitting, you're asking the question, you're willing to hear the answer. Do you think that that's going to break or shatter because you did something bad or wrong?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and I was talking while I was driving, and I had to pull over because I just felt such a shift uh, in the in the way that made me feel in
Mhm.
my outlook.
Mhm.
But it does take that kind of um, a quiet time. You know, the other thing that she said that I took two things from her. The other thing is she's like, you know, when you're being creative, when you're creating new things, when you're, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but manifesting, looking to be a creative person, you know, just as when we're in the workshop making things, you know, our spiritual life needs elbow room too. We've got to
Mhm.
create the space in order to
Mhm.
be creative. Um,
Yes.
and it was just such a beautiful reminder that if we do get in the workshop, the spiritual workshop, when we do get into a place where we have creative elbow room, then we can actually create it. If we're running around busy going from here to there, running and not really paying attention and not really doing what you were saying earlier, Skip, of finding that sacred time where we can really commune with the divine, then it's going to be much harder to dive into that kind of stream of creative consciousness. But I just had to share that because I do think that we have these when we have these decisions in front of us, it's easy to see everything as like high stakes, high stakes, high stakes,
Mhm.
one thing or the
Mhm.
other. But at the end of the day, the real, like what's underneath that
Yes.
is unchanging.
Yeah.
And it's something we
Yeah.
can dive into
Well,
whenever we need to. It was just a great reminder, and hearing
I
your
love that.
journey today, Skip, is just such affirmation for me.
mhm. Well, it makes me think, is there really a wrong decision or a wrong choice
Yeah.
when your intention is aligned? Because, Rev Skip, look, I mean, this is your first great ministry out of school. You manifested and you co-created together, with this amazing community. I mean, the music team that you had, I mean, we couldn't even list all of the events
Yeah.
and the impact that you have done together with them. So yeah, I don't know. It makes me think that, and I'll share another thing from my point of view. When I when you guys were kind of teasing, saying like, I'm doing personal retreats now, and I didn't mention. I'll talk more later about this, but I'm going to start live classes in a virtual class at the Still and Moving Center. They've been asking me to do a singing and movement class. I'm doing that. I'm doing this fashion stuff. I'm doing custom work. I'm writing still for TV and film, and I kept my ego was like, man, which is a story I've had for so long. You're so not focused, and all that comes with it. I'm not focused. I'm never going to move ahead. You know what? I told or whoever told me, the greater, higher self in me said, my focus is God and alignment and spirit, whatever you want to call that, flow. So I got focus where I need it.
Mm. I love that's a reminder for me right now. One of the things I love what you just said is this reminder. You gave me a list of all the things that I have done. And part of what I'm doing right now is I'm creating a list of I mean, it's all been a success story for me, but I look back at the time that I've been here at Center for Spiritual Living. We implemented here in Florida a yoga program that's very successful. I was teaching yoga today. We had 20 people in there. That is profitable, that's bringing money in. We did retreats, classes built, and more classes built. This weekend, if you're in the Fort Lauderdale area, we're having our first annual, hopefully will be continue on, a Sunday brunch with our music team that's doing the music, and we have a caterer coming in. And of course, a Center for Spiritual Living for Lauderdale, we got to have some champagne. We doing our thing. We doing our thing. We're celebrating. We had a potluck the beginning of the month because this month is Friendship Fellowship Month, and we had a friendship potluck, and we had over 100 people show up for the potluck, and they brought food too. People just don't always just come to potlucks and don't bring something. You know how it is. They brought food.
You know how to party over there. Y'all know how to party. I still
Yeah.
want to come visit there. Yeah.
So there are wonderful things, and this year, I before leaving and coming over here, I used to do retreats all over the world. I've been to Taiwan, I've been to Japan, Tokyo, I've been to the Middle East. I've done day retreats all over the world. And when the pandemic hit, that kind of stopped. I was doing retreat. You and I and Jackie Fernandez, I hope she's still on. We were doing retreats, virtual retreats. And Faith, I was in my garage.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've been doing salvos from my garage. It was so awesome. We were doing some great retreats.
I was in my bedroom. I was in my bedroom.
You're in your bedroom. I was in the garage. Jackie was in her living room. We did some incredible. We spoke at the Parliament of World Religion. Didn't we? We did that together. But this year, I actually got out of the garage and I took 25 people to Bali.
Yes.
And it really exploded into this divine intelligence that, oh, this is my lane. Wow. This is my lane. When I was in Bali, I met with this medicine woman, and she was just really straight up. She said to me, you know, there's a part of your job that you love. You work, you do so well. And she kept pointing at my first eye, which some people call the third eye. And she says, that's where you are living. I'm paraphrasing. And then she said, but there's a part of the work that you feel like you're dying. And you don't feel connected. And she says, if you release that, other things are going to happen. And I went, that makes sense to me, because there's a part of what I was doing that I felt like I was dying. I really did. But this is coming to life, and people are coming up to me going, well, you seem so much lighter. Today in yoga class, I'm kidding. In yoga class, they go, you seem so lighter. You are very connected. I'm going, yeah. You know, because when you find your purpose, you start to walk in a different way. You become to feel in a different way. You show up in a different way. When you're not living your purpose, then that's when it gets all chaotic. You're like, am I really making a difference? I don't want to be here. What can I do? All this is so important for us to understand. Living your purpose is key.
You're speaking to me right now, because I'm
talk to me.
Well, because I don't know if I've hidden it on the other shows, but you know, that was me, you know, I don't know, just for many months. I think when I was maybe, Chad, I was in that of like, well, I could do this. And so, you know what, I did nothing. Not I did nothing, but I didn't reach out. I didn't seek out ways to be of service. And now the person you described at the beginning part, Rev Skip, of like, you're walking with a purpose. I feel like that's where I am right now. And I'm doing 20 things, but it almost doesn't matter when I'm just, again, back to the intention and aligned with, I don't know, that higher purpose, and just to let my love be out instead of, you know what I mean? Like when you're just keeping it all in, trying to make the right decision. So screw the right decision.
I know one of your purposes, and we're about to listen to one of your purposes right now. You created, and I think it's very apropos that we bring in some music from our islands that you created, Hawaii Aloha. How did this come to play? What inspired this?
Well, Hawaii
besides you living in Hawaii.
Yeah, well, no, Hawaii Aloha is an anthem here, and usually it's sung a little bit more solemnly, but it talks about the love for the islands and for the sand. And so it was from my live Hawaiian album when I had a big opening and really began to appreciate this culture that I'm from. I'd shared this before, that, you know, I didn't understand aloha when I was growing up. I'm like, I don't see it. I just see the plastic skirts and but then I get it. I get it now, you know. And so we're sharing this today. Of course, sharing our love for Maui, but really that aloha vibe and spirit that comes from Hawaii. You know, we want to lift up all of Maui right now. So there's joy in this song. And I asked Skip, I'm like, is it okay to play a joyful song? Because there are locals, I don't know if you've heard, where it hurts them. They said, when we see the tourists come and they're looking at our burnt down city and they're, you know, and I get it. And so I am sharing this with all the love and respect for what Lahaina and what Maui has meant, you know, for everyone, to celebrate all of the memories and the joy that will come, that we're holding for them, the joy that will come. So Hawaii Aloha.
Let's listen with the joy.
E Hawaii e kune hanawe
That was amazing. We need a little joy in our life to swing back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And, Hawaii is a very special place to me.
Well, and I want to give props to the musicians that played in my live concerts. Of course, Daniel Ho, my friend, thank you. Lele, Steve Billman on bass, and Abe Lagrimas on percussion. And it made me think of the realization I had a few years back when I did a conference here in Hawaii, and I looked around. I was in Waikiki, and I'm like, all the people that come here have, this is like their life. For many, is their dream vacation. They've brought like all these intentions for joy and family and love. And I was like, maybe that's why Hawaii is, adds to the specialness, because everybody comes just with this open heart, ready to, become one with the Aina, with the land, and the sunsets and
So you just have to practice. You have to promise us next time, because we're going to do another live show in about a month. You will sing it live, or you'll do some live music. I know we're working out our glitches here and there for our live shows. We're going to do it once a month, and hopefully you'll be able to sing live for us next time.
Yes.
And so I have some questions. And Chatty too, yes, because Chatty, sings Shakespeare. He has Shakespeare songs he's written.
Songs, I'm sure.
And other songs. So
there is a series of songs I've just written. I am excited to tell everybody about this. I've been commissioned to write the music for a new theater piece called Kayfabe, which is, get this, it is a puppet piece, but it is a pro wrestling musical puppet piece where the puppets are all professional wrestlers, and there's a live musician playing all of their entrance music to every single one that comes down.
Jesus.
And
Jesus, Buddha, Krishna.
I can't imagine.
We love it. I love that. That's cool.
It's so cool. And the fellow who's making it is a guy, a dear friend named Josh Rice. He has a Jim Henson, who, if you remember, Sesame Street, he got a Jim Henson Foundation grant to create this piece. So he's bringing in puppeteers from all over the world. One of the big puppets in it is actually a Bunraku style puppet. He's been working with a 5th generation Japanese puppet master to create some of this. It's just wild all the way around.
What the heck kind of music?
I'm like going, what in the Sesame Street thing is happening right here? Come on now.
Wrestler.
I am a wrestler. I am a wrestler.
I will send you. Maybe we can do it on the next one of the demos, because it's very silly, and it's as if you're watching it on TV. So there's even like commercials that are in it, like for made up products. It's just very postmodern and very fun and silly, and
but see, here's the biggest thing that I really am getting from this. There is no limit to the divine. How the divine shows up, infinite possibilities. So wrestling, puppets, singing, musicals, it's infinite possibilities in the divine. Hello,
yes,
I love it. So
hopefully it will premiere. Hopefully it'll premiere sometime in April in Philadelphia, and then hopefully it'll have a life outside that as well.
Well, we'll make sure that we'll do a live show when that release, and you maybe bring the director in, and we'll have him come in as a guest, and we'll really promote this. So I think that's absolutely amazing. So guys, I got some questions for all of us to answer.
Mischievous. Okay.
Here's the first question. What is Voices of Unity? Why are we here? What are we doing here? What is our message? Faith, you go first, and I always put you on first. I know, right? What is our message?
What is Voices of Unity? Wow, I think we are here to celebrate. I mean, listen to our this one show, the diversity that is here. We're about diversity, and embracing that. And not only diversity in how we show up as people, but the diversity in our lifestyles, in the highs and lows. We've been really honest of when we're on a high and when we're in the, what'd you call it, the funky poo-poo mode. I don't know what that is. That's gonna be a thing now. And
Feeling
it's
like funky poo-poo.
yeah,
Feeling
but when
like
you're feeling
funky
like
poo-poo.
funky poo-poo, and it's about sharing this authentic spiritual journey. And what does that mean, right? What does that mean? It just means we are so committed to looking past just the physical circumstances, and that we are always reaching and seeking to express more of the brilliance that is within us, that we've been coded with from the divine. So I don't have a short bullet point answer. It just could
There
keep
is none.
being a lot. So that's me. Is that enough? Okay.
Yeah, because this is how we do our podcast, y'all. We just
It is.
jump on unless we have a guest or something. We're like, and even with the guests that come on, they just need to be ready to flow. They need to be ready to go with us because that's how spirit is. There is no putting spirit in the box. So I get to do this with Chad now. Chad, what is Voices of Unity to you, brother?
Well, it's going to be difficult to say anything more eloquent than Faith here, but I will say, to me, I think about Ram Dass, and somebody's like, well, how do we create good things in the world? Or he's like, well, you got to work on yourself, basically, which seems paradoxical. But coming into this space and getting a chance to dive deep and work with each other on the things that are going on in our lives, my hope, my prayer is that the frequency can reverberate to others, and they can see parallels in their own situations or circumstances, and through that kind of virtual asynchronous conversation, create that kind of unity, because it's through understanding that we can actually come together. So that's again, not exactly a bullet point, but hopefully
there is no bullet points.
Well, now it's your turn.
I know it's so funny because every time I do this, I'm going, now I do have to follow up with that. Y'all took all my stuff. But let me tell you, what I love about our podcast and what we do, literally, we've been doing this for a while now. We come together, and if you look at the outside of what we look like, Filipino woman, I think this is in our description, Filipino mom, my Caucasian brother with 2 kids, and here I am, openly gay, minister, African-American, but in the heart of it, we're unified. Mm-hmm. We're unified by love. We're unified by spirit. We're unified by the divine. We are a spiritual podcast. So we are unified by the hope that we bring to people who are looking for answers. We are in a place where we get to come together, and we don't always agree on a lot of things. Me and you, Faith, we've been going into that back and forth sometimes, and Chad just sits there going, Lord have mercy. Where are they going with this? Lord have mercy. Just let them get through it. And you're not even going back and forth, and Chad's going, well, and that Arkansas accent of his, well. But, I think that's the beauty of podcasting. We have 3 different experiences of the divine, yet we can come together in one space and share that. And I believe that is Voices of Unity, because we all have we're the individual expression of the one. There's only one of us here. Even if you're watching this, y'all who are watching this show right now, or watching this live podcast, you're one. You're one with us. And so many oftentimes are we told that we are separate. We have a very polarizing event that's coming up right now called the election. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the election, you like partisanship. It's all about being the part. Partisanship is like you before this and you are against this. So automatically, partisanship is setting us up to be separate. We need shows like this that we say, no, we're one, no matter what you believe, no matter who you love, no matter what you do, you're still part of our family. And I believe more and more of these shows need to be out there so people can find hope in unifying us together. Unity. That's what we're here for. Voices of Unity.
Mm-hmm.
That's our. That was a nice ribbon to put on it. Yeah.
I don't
know. Ta-da! The ribbon.
I feel like he opened a new box going into the political realm, of
Yes.
I lost my thought though. What I was gonna say? That I do appreciate that Voices of Unity, as you were saying, Rev Skip, is this space where we can show up with our differences. Oh, and that's what our greatest work is right now. I think, especially during, what you said is coming up, the elections and all that, is how do you show up with differences and still find it in your heart to respect and love the other who is choosing something so different from you, right? That's the work.
But do you believe, and we've said this on our show before, I think it's worth repeating, that the way we're going to get past this energy of exclusivity or this separatism, we must be willing to sit down with people who don't believe the way we believe, who don't love the way we love, willing to sit down and have a conversation. This is one of the main reasons why I'm staying in Florida, to have a conversation with people who might not like me because of who I go to bed with, or who I sleep with, or the color of my skin. Yeah. This is why I'm wearing this shirt to say love is love is love. And I need to have another thing at the very bottom that says period. Love is love is love, period. That's going to be my next t-shirt. That's going to be my next shirt. Yes. I know, right? And listen, not so shameless plug. You can go to the Wake Shop and get this t-shirt right here. Not such a shameless plug, baby. You can go, get your t-shirts. Yeah. Get your t-shirts.
Love is love. And we'll create a
love
song.
Is love. Oh, babe, we need to create a song. Love is love is love.
Yeah, we will.
We do. Oh my goodness, guys, guess what? Time is up. So we end our show with, we call it the SSP. And Faith, what does SSP stand for?
Sexy, spiritual. Wait for it. Pebbles.
Hey,
I want the
sexy spiritual pebbles. Yes. I love it. Sexy spiritual pebbles is our takeaway from the show, and it's kind of our mic drop moment and what we want to, what was, I guess, impress upon our souls from this conversation. Chad, I got to go to you first. What's your SSP, brother?
Well, listen, it's less of a, it's not so much dropping a mic as sitting and beholding. I am just very thankful to be in the space where I'm hearing, Faith, where your energy is, and Skip, the kind of abundant freedom that you're growing and starting to walk into. And I think for me that my SSP is just sitting and listening to that. That may not be again something that you can write a headline about, but it is the idea of new beginnings, new journeys, and walking into those new journeys with freedom and joy and expectation for the divine to use you in the ways that it will. That's what I'm going to take away and hold on to in the coming week.
Preach, preacher.
That's beautiful.
So good. That's so good. What's yours, Faith? What's your SSP for today?
It's kind of like Chad's. I would say there's today, being with you and sharing the way we are, hearing the journeys we're on, and like you said, Chad, feeling into like the transition of we're moving at this greater freedom. The word that just comes to me is this moment being with you. It's just so satisfying, and why is it? And I'm always, I always love being with you, but it's different when I feel so right with myself, feeling that purpose we were talking about today. I can tap into deeper satisfaction and sweetness and all of that. Does that make sense? Like everything is and expanded because I'm right with me. Oh my God, that's actually pretty awesome.
Shoot.
You've got two songs.
That could be a song.
Yes.
I'm right with me.
I'm writing this down. I'm right with me. Okay. Okay, Rev Skip, what about you?
So my SSP for today, my takeaway, what's impressing on my heart, is very similar to what y'all just said.
Mm-hmm.
That this live show thing that we decided that we're going to do a little bit different and go and do it maybe once a month or whatever. This is very important. I believe putting it out there in a wider expansion of our podcasts, I believe that this is what we're called to do. In fact, you know, Chad, your nickname is Sexy Chatty Daddy. I mean, you're
Chatty Daddy.
Sexy Chatty Daddy. You know, and Faith, you're so beautiful. And look at us. We are doing this live thing. I think it's very, very important that we continue on to do this and what we're doing. My SSP is how important you are in my life. And I'm glad that y'all said yes, as we're heading into another year of Voices of Unity. You know, this is divine. So thank y'all for being a part of my life. And so, as we always do, where can we find you, Faith Rivera?
Well, if you'd like to go to Kona on October, wait, I have the wrong dates here. September 28th through the 30th is the Aloha Shirt Festival at the Outrigger Kona Resort and Spa. And my little Izzy girl is going to be walking on the Saturday night fashion show. I'll be doing some music, and it's really a way to celebrate the local wearable arts here in the islands, with vintage all the way to contemporary designers. And so if you go to alohashirtfestival.com and use Izzy's code Izzy99, we'd really appreciate that. And the second thing is, starting September 6th, I will be offering this Let It Out singing and movement class at the Still in Movement Center on Wednesdays from 10:45 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. Hawaii time. But also, it's going to be virtual. So that's 1:45 to 2:45 Pacific time. And you just go to Still and Moving Center. So that's where you can find me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And then people can get your music at Faith Rivera Music. You can get your website and all the things doing, all that. And on social media, your Faith Rivera Music.
I'm at Faith Rivera Music. Yeah. And I just want to encourage everyone, go and check out my experiences page on my website, because people
truly is phenomenal.
Well, I've booked a personal retreat. I'm working on some custom songs, and even had a singing student the other day. So I want to serve. I want to be there for everyone.
And that's what you're doing. You're already doing it. All right, Sexy Chatty Daddy.
So listen, first of all, I like my nickname. Second of all,
Sexy Chatty
I
Daddy.
actually have an experience section on my website. It's just going to the website and having a terrible experience.
Stop! Oh my Lord.
My brother, I was so ready to go. The new website, it's up. I was waiting for you to say something like that. I was
it's gonna happen.
I was praying that you were going to say the new website is ready. I'm like, yay! Lord have
no,
mercy.
But it's in the works. It's just it takes a minute. But you can find me at Chad Bradford 1 on all the things, and on YouTube as well if you want to see some silly clips and things like that. Also, arcshakes.com and at arcshakes. We open our fall tour on September 9th at the University of Arkansas Pulaski in Little Rock, Arkansas, on their Performing Arts series at 7:30 p.m. You can get tickets by going to the Charts website there. And we're touring through September, and our closing date right now is going to be October 13th in Russellville, Arkansas. So go to arcshakes.com for all the dates.
Right on.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. I am, of course, everyone knows you can get me at Skip Jennings everywhere on all the socials. Inside Timer, Rev Skip Jennings. We have over 60 tracks up there right now for meditation. I have 2 courses, Spirituality During Challenging Times, and then Meditation 101, all on Inside Timer. You'll be able to get that. Also, we are now accepting reservations for those who want to go to Bali with me in 2024. The new Bali trip is happening. It is in June 2nd through the 12th, 10 days in Bali, second round. And then also in 2025, I'm going to take people to Thailand. I might go in December 2024. We don't know yet, or January 2024. Costa Rica. I'm doing a Costa Rica trip in February of 2024, and I'm going to Alaska in August of 2024. Now, I just said a lot. Here's how you can keep up with me and my t-shirts and my retreats and going all over the world with Rev Skip. Go to my website, skipjennings.com. You can find out where you can get the link to go to the Awake Shop, which is my spiritual t-shirt shop, where you can get your t-shirt as well. And I have a new book that's in the process of going to the editor. I'm hoping in 2024 the new book will be released. Oh, we done exploded. We done explode. I'm like, okay. Hello, here we go, people. We about to make some spiritual stuff happen up in here, Rev Skip. Yes, we are. I'm still here for another month and a week. I'm still here to see a minister at Center for Spiritual Living. I'm still teaching yoga here. I'm still in Fort Lauderdale community. And I'm just really grateful that I get to do this with y'all. This brings me life. It brings me life.
Absolutely.
So y'all do us a big favor. Follow us on our Instagram. It's Voices of Unity. That's on Instagram. And of course, we have our Facebook group, which is Voices of Unity. And also follow us on our podcast. If you go to our podcast page, hopefully I got this right, the ticker up there, right? It is Mind, Body, Spirit, FM. Did I do that right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, okay, I hope so too. And follow us and download our podcast. Leave a message, share it to the world, y'all, because we have some really good stuff that we want to give to all y'all out there. This has been amazing, y'all. We had an incredible live show. Our first live show.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, everyone. So thank you so much for sharing this time with us. Remember, transformation is a choice, and you can choose today. We love you here at the show, at this beautiful show, this beautiful podcast. Until next time.
Aloha.
Bye.